Hello, my name is Gabriela Nguyen-Groza. I am the founder and managing partner of Amrop Luxembourg. Amrop is an international executive search and leadership development network with 61 offices throughout the world. And we are trusted advisors for boards and CEOs on topics related to people in general. So I'm here with Kristy Duncan. She is the founder of Women in Payments, which is a global organization promoting women in payments. So Kristy, can you introduce briefly yourself and the Women in Payments?
Thanks so much, Gabriela. It's a pleasure to be here. I founded Women in Payments back in 2012, recognizing the need for women in the payments industry around the world to have career development opportunities. And we are now in 6 markets and helping to build a community of women in the payments industry.
And you're doing it very, very well, I must admit. So, Kristy, again, thank you for being here today. I think that you could bring us a lot of knowledge about the payments in the metaverse, which is today's topic. So let me ask you one question. There is a lot of buzz this day about the metaverse. But it seems to be a little bit like, teenage sex. Everyone is talking about it. Only a few people actually understand it. And even fewer are actually doing it. So do you think this is a fair assessment?
Well, when you put it that way, probably it is. There's lots of buzz about it for sure. And the metaverse is coming about as we evolve the internet and as we get into concepts like augmented reality, virtual reality, and blockchain technology, which is really helping to set the stage for what we call Web 3.0. And there are so many fantastic potential applications for the metaverse. We're seeing all kinds of new players enter it, some of the big banks, JP Morgan, HSBC, Bank of America, Deutsche Bank, and other players like Gucci and Adidas. So lots of buzz and lots going on. If you think about the metaverse as being right now, it's kind of like little individual islands of the metaverse. And there are many parallel metaverses emerging with competing gaming platforms, corporate sponsored ecosystems, these the DAOs, the decentralized autonomous organizations. And there are so many opportunities. I think it's kind of like the internet 20 or 30 years ago when we had no idea what was going to be emerging and what the opportunities were, but we kept moving forward and it kept evolving.
If we think about the metaverse as the next big thing, similar to the advent of the internet just a few decades ago, where do we see the opportunities here?
Oh my gosh. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, I'm certain, but there's so many different ways that we can get into and experience the metaverse. We're already seeing it with virtual reality and gaming applications, learning experience, such as virtual training for corporates, healthcare opportunities. If you think about online doctor visits or pharmacy consultations, virtual vacations, remote onboarding. Most of these are based on existing and evolving augmented and virtual reality technologies. But the blockchain is also helping us to build out applications for the metaverse. If you think about the banking world, the metaverse is offering new ways to engage with customers. For example, creating high-touch personalized services for sophisticated products, or personalized virtual annual portfolio reviews or financial planning sessions. The opportunities are really endless. An example would be BNP Paribas has launched a virtual reality app which enables retail banking clients to access account activity and transaction records. Bank of America is offering employees virtual reality training in over 4,000 centers around the world. So we're just starting to see these applications emerge, and it's so exciting to see more and more opportunities.
Well, I heard a lot of interesting opportunities, but virtual vacations, this is not for me. I really like my real vacations. What about the payments in the metaverse? How might they work?
Oh, well, that's another interesting question, Gabriela. And we're seeing a lot of the payment firms in the metaverse already starting to experiment and build products that will work in the metaverse. Things like digital currencies, but also traditional methods, which are being adapted for the metaverse, and digital wallets. So, for example, MasterCard is launching a biometric smile to pay payment method as part of its metaverse plan. JP Morgan has created Onyx in 2020 as the first bank-led blockchain platform as a means to exchange value and information and digital assets. But what excites me is the whole concept of programmable money. This is where we can create digital smart wallets to do much of our financial transacting on our behalf without thinking about it. So to quote David Burt in his recent article in Forbes magazine, smart wallets can do the financial donkey work that's either too boring, such as paying for your car parking, or too baffling. Think of deciding whether or where to put your spare money in a tax-efficient savings account or one that's based on equities for most of us to deal with. So thank you, David, for that insight. I totally agree. The too boring and too baffling options are places I'd be happy to have a smart wallet do my thinking for me. But this leads to an environment where the majority of transactions can be done between smart agents. So you drive through that car wash and the car is doing its payment on your behalf, and you don't even have to think about it.
Sounds interesting. But, let's talk about risks. We have all watched the rise and recent fall of cryptocurrencies, and many risks have been identified. What type of risks might we see when transacting in the metaverse?
Well, risk is always something the bankers are concerned about, and we should all really be concerned about it because it can hit us in the pocketbook as some of these online cryptocurrency trading platforms haven't performed as we'd like them to. And so there are risks for people who use these new payment platforms. But really, in this virtual reality, augmented reality, cryptocurrency world, there is no oversight and there are many risks. Two key problems I see that we need to address are identity and risk. We need to solve these before we can transact comfortably and confidently to minimize our risk. We need a means to verify credentials in order to gain trust. Who are you dealing with? Or is it some scammer posing as a trusted party at the other end of your transactions? And these credential and trust frameworks are now starting to evolve. And we're also starting to see the regulators get involved because they have concerns about money laundering, about ethics, about challenges, about risks to consumers and participants in these transactions. So we saw the Monetary Authority of Singapore a couple of weeks ago issue a couple of consultation papers. One of them focused on trying to provide some guidance and know your customer guidelines for cryptocurrency trading platforms. So there is movement in this direction to start to help participants in financial transactions in the metaverse manage and understand there's those risks. We also need education so that people understand what they're actually getting into and what the risks are. We've got risks around data privacy, especially when transactions are carried on a blockchain for everyone to see. There are ethical concerns and challenges around IP ownership, which will also need to be addressed. So lots of risk, but lots of opportunity.
So, Kristy, I am curious about how do we exchange value, and actually what is the value of money in the metaverse? And by that, I mean, what is the I would say, interoperability of the different currencies in the metaverse? How do you see that question being solved?
Great question, Gabriela. Thanks for that. So I think money as we know it is really evolving, and I don't even really talk about money anymore because it's more about exchanging value. So as long as we are all on a common value exchange platform, then it makes it easy. But as we build out this metaverse, the concept of value is different in each of these islands of the metaverse. So in one virtual reality, we might use stable coins, and another one we might be using Bitcoin, and another one we might be using NFTs, these non-fungible tokens. So they're all different ways to create and exchange value. And the challenge is interoperability. So if I pay you in Bitcoin and you want to give me change, but you don't have Bitcoin, so you have to give me, I don't know, coins or US dollars or stable coins or NFTs, then it's kind of apples and oranges. So this is part of our challenge as we evolve the metaverse, is how do we exchange that value on an apples to apples basis? And this is also, I think, going to evolve in the different parallel metaverses, which is why there's a race to the start line, if you will, for so many of the payment organizations. So the PayPals and the MasterCards, and even the central banks with their central bank digital currencies, they want to make sure that they are available for people to use as opposed to other means of exchanging value. They would like to be that default currency of choice, if you will. Another challenge that we have is the interoperability. If I go from one metaverse to another, can I bring my value that I've got in my digital wallet from one to another, or do I have to actually exchange them somehow into a new digital wallet where that currency or that value will be accepted in that new metaverse? So lots of opportunities, but lots of challenges that still need to be ironed out.
Yes, thank you, Kristy. A lot of food for thought there. And looking forward to seeing you soon. And maybe in a few years, we will have another conversation on this topic, and we will have a point of view about our discussion today.
I'm sure. I'm looking forward to that, Gabriela. It's really exciting to watch this evolve, and it's coming so quickly. There's going to be lots more to talk about in just a couple of years.
Thank you, Kristy. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.